When it comes to relationships and starting godly relationships, we have already been blessed with that gift of entering into godly relationships because there are some ways and there are some alignments that God really shows us that, yeah, we are supposed to be in these relationships. We are supposed to be in them and we have been given that green light. But the enemy is against all this. The enemy knows and hates kingdom marriages. That's why he will disguise himself in many things in the world. He will create that marriages are scams, and when you hear that, you don't want to get close to marriages. And so in this video, I want us look at some ways in which the devil will stop you from being with your God-given wife and or God-given partner or for that matter. These are some several things that the enemy will use. Without much ado, let's fast to the first thing that the enemy will cause, and that is creating confusion and doubt. It makes you question whether the person is really from God. These are the things that will be caused by the enemy, and you shall have this fear. The enemy will stir fear, and you will overanalyze on filled with anxiety about the timing or just the compatibility, and you think that you are not compatible with the person. To create fear, it shall be you think that the timing is not good, whether the case the timing is just perfect. But these are the enemy's ways and manipulations in which that you are going to delay, and the enemy wants exactly that. So in First Corinthians 14 that 3 says, for God is not another of confusion, but of peace. Because when it's a God-given partner, God will give you peace over it, not confusion. The second thing that your enemy use is promoting counterfeit relationships. So these are the enemy will use attempting relationships with someone who seems ideal, someone who feels okay, someone who feels like they are the right person. They will lead you away from God's will. That's how you know that they are sent by the enemy. They are the people that will ask you to compromise your standards and your value that you have set for yourself, and they will lead you astray away from God so that you can compromise on your goals and all that. So it can be filled with the distractions, and with this relationship can also be a cause of lust and maybe status or emotional dependency. These are the kind of people that the enemy will use. People that you think you love them, but surely it's just lust. It's just emotional dependency. People with status, maybe I think they have money, and so they think that they are the right person for you. But this is the way that the enemy, the devil, is using so that he can distract you from your God-given partner. Many people miss their godly partner because they are attracted to someone who is not meant to them. They are attached and they attach their feelings to that person who is not with them. Going to the third thing that the enemy you use is fostering unhealed wounds. This is using past traumas. You are not healed. People that have hurt you and all these things, and maybe people who you be feel the trust issues and insecurities, and this will make you sabotage that God-given person that has been given already to you, and this will also sabotage the intimacy that God really wants you to have with your partner. And the enemy will whisper lies like you are not enough, you are not good enough, no one truly loves you. These are the ways and manipulation that the enemy will definitely use so that he can sabotage this relationship. If your heart isn't healed, even the right person might feel like the wrong person. You can check in Isaiah 43:18. The fourth thing that the enemy will use is sowing division through miscommunication. Let me tell you, communication is one of the effective ways in which a relationship can progress. So causing unnecessary arguments is one way that the enemy will use. Still use misunderstanding or maybe prideful silence. Person who is prideful silence is someone who is too proud to talk, to communicate, to solve conflicts, but they want to stay in silence. So division is one of the enemy's most used tools, especially in relationships that are godly. And he is very key and very strategic to make sure that you fall into these traps. Check that on Proverbs 29:11. The fifth one is that the enemy will use is delaying God's timing. This encourages impatience so that you settle for someone who is not God sent. You think that God is taking too long. And so whenever someone who appears just like the person you prayed for without even discernment, you immediately enter into a relationship. This can distract, this also can be used by distractions through sin. It can be through business. You are very busy even to hear God's voice, and maybe you have fear, so you are not ready when the right person come, because when this right person comes in, you are so indulged in day-to-day life business. You have fear, you are already in sin, and so you cannot discern whether they are the right partner for you. Timing matters. Being in a season of spirituality helps you recognize and receive the right person. Matthew 6:33, you can check on that. The sixth one is the enemy use temptation and sexual sin, using lust or sexual temptations to confuse love with chemistry. Remember, you should distinguish between love and lust, because when you have lust, you just wanna maybe sleep with this person, you are filled with temptation and sexual desires. But love is a very different and totally different thing. Guilt from sexual sin can create shame, distance from God, and God or emotional damage. The devil will twist God's gift of intimacy into a trap when it's outside God's design. When it's outside God's design, the devil will use this against you, will use temptations, will use sin, sexual sin, shame, and all that. So you feel disgusted and against God, because you are into this sin and temptation that the devil has really reigned on you. The other way that the enemy and the devil will use is by attacking your faith and identity. This will make you doubt your worth or calling. You have this calling and you know what you are destined to do, but the enemy will time and time again make you doubt and have these doubts about your person. This also can lead you to compromise your standards or give up hope in love, because you are tired of waiting, and so you come to a conclusion that there isn't any love. So the enemy knows he can break your identity. If he can break your identity, he can distract you from your destiny. So you should take caution and guard your heart. The last one is instigating a fear of commitment. This is a very huge one. People don't want to commit, making you over afraid or being hurt again. Maybe you have been a situation or a scenario or a season where you were hurt and you trusted someone, but in return they betrayed you. And so now you have that fear that once you commit, the same thing shall happen. So this keeps you emotionally unavailable or suspicious of anyone who gets alone. When you when someone gets closer to you, you repel them away because you feel hurt and you are emotionally unavailable. So fear and love cannot thrive in the same space in 1 John 4:18. So those are some of the ways that the enemy will use to stop you from your God-given partner. So these are the some ways that you can do to really discern God's timing, God's person. The first thing is stay close to God through prayer, through fasting, and through the scripture. Through the word, God will communicate to you and tell you the person who is the right person, and if it's a yes. Through fasting, you should fast to ask God to guide you so that you don't fall on the traps and of the enemy. And you should consistently be in prayer. Pray about your future. Pray about your spouse. Pray about your partner who is to come. The second thing is to guard your heart. Guard your heart. Even in Proverbs 4:23, it asks to guard our heart. But in the same time as you guard your heart, you should also keep your heart open to God's direction. The other thing that is, you should heal from past wounds. So you are not emotionally, and so that you can emotionally and spiritually ready when that right comes. So should heal, take time to heal. The last one is a discern relationships, not by appearance, but by the fruits these people bear. You shall know them by their fruits. That's what the word says. You can check that in Matthew 7:16. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, kindly share, subscribe, and comment. And I hope to see you on my next video. Stay blessed.